hi, howdy, howdy, hi, hi. While everyone is minus, you could call me multiply. Just so you know, yes, yes, I'm that guy. You could give 5 fingers and I'm not waving high. Yes, I'm never ending, you could call me pie. But really, how long till the world realize? Yes, yes, I'm the best, fuck what you heard. Anything less is
obviously absurd.
Haters get the bird, more like an eagle. This is my movie, stay tuned for the sequel. Seems so wrong, seems so illegal. Got this in the back like a foul ball free throw. Yep, yep, you know that I go. This is me on the regular, so you know.
Hi, I'm Elia Einhorn, and you're listening to the Talkhouse Music Podcast. The Talkhouse team set up camp at Pitchfork Music Festival in Chicago recently and recorded some fantastic artist-on-artist talks. Last episode, you heard a quick chat between Brian Wilson and Carly Rae Jepsen, as well as Kamasi Washington and Thundercat in conversation. In upcoming weeks, we'll drop more talks recorded at the fest between Julia Holter and Broken Social Scene's Kevin Drew, BJ the Chicago Kid and Mick Jenkins, and Spencer Tweedy and the band Whitney. Today, we present Shamir in conversation with Aaron Maine of Porches. Shamir Bailey, who performs as Shamir, grew up in a musical family in Las Vegas. He's the perfect millennial post-genre poster child, a country song-loving teenage punk rocker who ended up as a pop dance R&B star with the release of his 2015 indie hit debut record Ratchet, released when he was just 21. That album and its single On the Regular featured retro 80s synths and drum machines that lent themselves more to the club than the mosh pit or honky-tonk. And Shamir was an instant internet sensation. But he hasn't abandoned his roots. Though Shamir played a dancey set at Pitchfork Festival, he performed a solo country-style set at an after-show party the same weekend. Porches is the nom de plume of singer-songwriter Aaron Maine. Porches' first LP, The Beautiful Slow Dance in the Cosmos, was a mostly live band, indie rock-esque affair. Maine signed with Domino Records and took a stylistic turn with this year's follow-up album Pool, bringing a synth-heavy electronic vibe to his gorgeous, falsetto-laced melancholia. Since the album's release, Porches have been playing to bigger and bigger audiences across Europe and America. When their tours brought Porches and Shamir to Pitchfork Fest, the two were thrilled for the rare chance to catch up in person. Their talk takes in such topics as a song versus its arrangement, demoing solo as opposed to performing with their full band lineups, working with guitars or electronics, and Taylor Swift. She comes up a couple of times. The conversation starts with Shamir asking Aaron about his songwriting process. Check it out.
This is the end, but you really feeling it. Here's on my verse, cause I ain't no sleepy bitch. Ain't got much to say, cause that's in my piece. Guess my words are blunt and I ain't talking weed. Yep, yep, you know that I go. This is me on the regular, so you know. This is me on the regular, so you know.
Hey, so I know we're both songwriters, and I don't know, I like everyone's process is like very different. Like people always ask me like what comes first, the music or like the lyrics or like blah 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 blah. So I'm just like interested like what's usually typically your songwriting process, because I know it usually changes, at least for me.
Yeah, it's always sort of been the same, where I think I just write something until I feel like I found some like a line or two that works, and then I'll like go back and like play, like sing that line like 5 million times until it fits into like some sort of melody, and then just write the rest. But I guess recently the like production thing is what I've been excited about, and just so like once that first part is done, then I just try and dress it up, I guess, in some way that feels new. And all the like electronic stuff is so new to me that it's nice to like be super excited about that part, because sometimes it doesn't get stale, but it's just cool when I have that. It's like when you get like a like new piece of clothing that you're like super excited to like wear the next day or something. I felt I could still kind of feel like that with recording. Like I'm just really giddy to like get there and just make new sounds and stuff. So
yeah, I feel like in a sense like people know me more from my electronic sound, but I come from very like punk country background, so I definitely have been used to writing on guitar and everything. So I feel like we're kind of like in the same boat in that sense, where we started off writing more acoustically and like more guitar, and then like came into like more of an electronic sound. So like how I don't know, like how was that process for you? Because it was like a very new thing for me. Like it was not necessarily bad, but it was definitely kind of like a moment of breakdown for me a little bit. Only because it was supposed to be more an experimental thing for me.
Yeah.
And people started to take that more seriously than anything else I've ever done.
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel like people respect both your more acoustic stuff and also electronic stuff, and like you're both known for both things.
Yeah. Well, I guess I did the more like singer-songwriter thing for a while. Yeah, I don't really know. I was expecting like more of like a backlash from, and I feel like there are maybe older fans that are like, fuck this new Porches stuff.
Well, you see, honestly, because I'm an OG fan. I always loved like the more like acoustic stuff and the more singer-songwriter stuff, and when I heard that there was going to be more electronic, I was like, but after hearing the album, I was just so blown away because like, and I think that's what a lot of people also see in my music is that like the songs are still there, and the songs are still very solid, and like that's what's more important. Like a friend of mine always like when it comes to production, he's like, it's all soda water, right? Like you think of songs as soda water. You want really good soda water to make whatever flavor of soda you want.
Yes.
You know?
I feel like the song, or the beauty of like being able to write a song on the guitar is that you know if it doesn't hold up on guitar, like
exactly.
Don't waste your time. I think it's just a good craft that you have, you know, and it once you have that, it's just fun to be able to kind of try different things, presenting it different ways, I guess.
Totally. Yeah. And when it comes to electronic music, I find that it could be either melody oriented or beat oriented. And I feel like your stuff is still very melody oriented instead of just kind of being like EDM, which is like, that's not how your music is. It's still very, you know, songwriter and folky in that way. It's more like the electronic aspects of it was an embellishment, in my opinion. And like, that's what I loved about it.
When you started, did you like get into beats and like making beats and stuff, or was it more?
From the first time I got my guitar till like 16, I only did country music exclusively.
Wow.
I was like trying to be Taylor Swift pretty much.
That's
like
amazing.
I was going to honky tonks and doing all of that. And then obviously with my voice and image and everything, that threw people off. So that made me very angsty, and then I started my punk band.
Cool.
And I didn't do electronic music until I got a hand-me-down drum machine.
Cool.
And I just started to experiment with that. I didn't know anything about electronic music. I didn't know what house music was. My only electronic influences was like Zola Jesus and like Astra.
Cool.
Like that's all I really knew.
It's best when it's like that, where you just have one thing and you're like, you just make the weirdest stuff.
I mean, that's how I write. That's not having a bunch of things at in my possession. It's like, it's the best way I write. Like, I like having a sense of just like, okay, I want to use like what I have around me and like not just have like a whole spread in front of me. Definitely. Like, I don't have a computer.
That's amazing.
I'm barely own guitars. Like I mostly I have a 4-track and I just record and write with anything that I can find around me.
That's cool. Yeah, I felt like I was getting kind of distracted by like computer stuff like towards the end of the last record, so I decided to like not to like step away, and I got another 4-track and just made like 8 songs, and I love it on the tape because you can't like come back to it. Like you're just forced to finish. You have to like, you can't like just finish the lyrics later or like figure out. You just have to like commit in a way that you never have to on the computer. I think you waste so much time. Kind of.
It makes you a better singer too, in my opinion.
Better singer. Yeah, I think it's really healthy to just finish the damn song.
Now you have a live band.
Yes. You too.
I do also have a live band, but I wanted to know because I'm kind of a cheater. I have a musical director, so I just kind of like show up to practice and sing and tell them what I don't want and want. But do you have a musical director? Are you your musical director?
Yeah, I'm the director, and 2 members of the band, Kevin and Saya.
Saya, love Saya. I lived with Saya for a bit.
That's amazing. I forgot. Yeah, so we've been Porches for like 4 years, maybe 5. through like all of the shit, and it's been through like a lot of different, there have been members in and out, but I think this current lineup has been steady. So yeah, we just practice like once a week and usually like have the song mostly flushed out and like an idea of how I want to arrange it, and then from there we'll just kind of work it out and see what works. Because before it was all, the first Porches stuff was all electronics. There was hardly any guitars, and then we would have to figure out how to just present it with like a 5-piece band, like a rock band.
Which seems like so hard. Like, I don't know how my music director does it.
It was really exhausting and fun, but also like there came a point where I was really happy with how Pool sounded and put a lot of work into like making those sounds. And so for the first time I was like, I want to finally just try and recreate the album as close as we can. So that was a lot of figuring out. I mean, it's so weird coming from a background of playing with, you know, like all live instruments and stuff, and there's like a backing track and like samplers and stuff. At first
so you get used to that click.
What?
You gotta get used to that click. That's hard. It's hard to play
weird,
a click.
yeah. At first it really felt like bad and like not natural, but I think it's just like anything, you get used to it and then it feels
It's
good
a whole
again.
nother skill, definitely.
How often do you practice?
Not often at all. I mean, well, I really don't. I mean, we practiced hard when the album came out, and then we didn't practice for a while until my headlining tour, which was last fall. And we just practiced a little bit before this, only because I was premiering a new song. But we don't practice that much because we've been playing nonstop.
Right.
So
that's insane.
Yeah.
How much you've been playing.
Yeah, I mean, like
Are you okay?
I'm happy now because last night was my last show of the year. Yes.
Congrats. That's amazing.
Thank you. Yes. It was like a whole 360 circle because Pitchfork last year was one of the first festivals I ever played.
Okay.
And to like end this year is like, it's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's perfect.
That's cool.
And you just can like see the growth, or at least I know I've seen the growth.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who saw me last year, you know, it's like, oh my God,
Growth
like
is
crazy.
record breaking, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I feel like more comfortable now, like on stage and like in my skin and like having like more, just like vibing with, learning how to vibe with people more.
Yeah.
And like
Do you
used
have
to the
like
songs.
a number of how many shows you played this year?
This year's not as bad as last year. This year I did the Laneway Festival in Australia and I did the Duran Duran tour, and those are my only like real tours. Everything else was just like one-off festivals.
Okay.
So it wasn't that many.
Cool.
I didn't really tour that much this year, but
Do you know where you're gonna live?
I live in Philadelphia.
You live in Philly now?
Yeah, I love it.
That's cool.
Yeah, all my friends like saw you at Union Transfer
Yeah, that was amazing.
with
that
Alex,
show.
right?
With Alex.
Love him.
You
I
guys
have a
should
lot of friends out
collab.
there.
That would be amazing.
I mean, that would be amazing. Like he's one of like my hugest like faves ever. Like period.
Same. Yeah, that tour was, we saw them play every night and still all everyone wanted to listen to in the car was Alex. You were just like going through the catalog, like being like, do you guys know how to play this song? Like, can we play this song tonight?
I mean, it's
so
just
good.
like tuning to songwriting to like everything. Like when I first heard Harvey, I actually cried. I was still living in Vegas, and my mom was like dropping me off like at my house, and I was like in the backseat listening to Harvey, like crying, and my mom was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No," and I just like ran out and went into my room and like listened to it on repeat like 20 more times. I was like, "He's so amazing."
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's scared of me though, because every time I see him, I'm fangirl.
He
I'll
might
never
be
get
scared
used
of
to him.
everyone.
Yeah, he's a very timid person, and I'm obviously very like I'm a stan. Like I can't help it.
Same. It's funny.
Yeah, sweet kid. But yeah, the Philly scene is really amazing. I love it out there. I have him,
Harmony's
Girlpool.
down there, right?
Yeah. Sadie from Speedy Ortiz.
Did she move there too? Cool.
We moved around the same time. Well, I've been to my new place around the same time as she moved. So we were like, talking about furniture shopping and all that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, love her.
New York next? ever?
I mean, I lived in New York to record my album. The only thing about New York for me is that it lacks a bit of chillness that Philly does, like that Philly has. And New York is a lot for me coming straight from this like North Las Vegas, which is super rural. Like I grew up across street from a farm my whole life, you know.
Where can I hear the like country songs? Are they out there anywhere?
No. Every time I tried to record my country stuff, because I was very young, you know, I didn't know anything about 4-tracks. I didn't know how to record on a computer, so I would go to studios, and all those recordings sounded horrible. Because no one in Vegas knows how to like.
Wow, yeah, just
record.
like kind of budget studio.
Yeah.
I can imagine. I bet you they're amazing. Though.
No,
I can see. Like,
I don't even have anything, and I burnt everything, and like nothing exists. It's
what about
really
the
bad.
punk band? Are there any?
Yeah, it's called Anorexia. Like we saw like a band camp or something.
Oh, cool. I'll check that out.
I'm more proud of that. I think that's some of the best stuff that I've ever done.
Do you think you'll ever revisit or like bring some like punk rock elements into
Yeah, I mean,
Shamir?
I am now with the new stuff. The new stuff is definitely more. It's more guitar based.
Cool.
It's more melody driven. I'm pretty much writing everything on piano and guitar.
That's amazing.
And it's been built, you know, that way. Whereas like Ratchet was more half and a half. Like sometimes it'd be like built from beats, and then sometimes it'd be built from like me on piano or guitar. But this one I've been writing all of myself, with like just like building the melody and like from guitar and everything. I'm really
can't wait
excited.
to hear it.
Yeah.
I want to get some voice memos.
Yeah, except for the song that I played yesterday. That was my only beat driven one, and like I was like, the beat was just like really so good. My producer, who I recorded my EP and album with, Nick, he was like, I know you're like really going more like melody driven on this, but like I have the song. It reminds me of Philly, and I think that, you know, because he's also from Philly too, and he's like, I think it embodies the Philly spirit and everything. And I listened to it and wrote the song in like 5 minutes, like literally. It's just like,
That's sick.
and I felt like I needed a Philly song because I had a song called Vegas on my last album.
That's
so
cool.
this is kind of like, you know, a whole new thing for me. So yeah.
Damn, I'm gonna try and find some videos of you performing that new song last night.
Oh, it's fine. I'm sure it's like on
Is it called
Snapchat.
Philly?
It's called Philly. It's just called Philly. I don't know, maybe like for the third album I have to move somewhere else so I can like, you know, new song called Chicago. Chicago. I don't know. But yeah, I like to write about cities. I guess I'm kind of like Sufjan Stevens in that way.
Right.
Like, image is such a huge thing when it comes to music. And I don't know, I think that's always been a big thing for me to separate who I am on stage and like out there, and also who I am just like off stage and like as a person. I don't know, that's always been a weird thing for me. Like what's your take on it? Because I feel like I'm Shamir on off stage,
Yeah,
in stage,
I feel that
sleeping,
too.
alive, awake.
All I was gonna say is like sometimes I feel like there is an ideal me, or at least like way that I feel like confidence wise on stage that like some of the best shows have been. And I think sometimes I like try and put on really feeling it when I'm not, and I realize that, or at least what works best for me is to just do me and like
Yeah,
say
go in.
whatever. I don't have to like try and hype anyone up if I'm not feeling like that, or like I don't have to crawl around and like be wild on stage if I'm just feeling like being still and, you know, talking to people or saying
Well,
that.
that's my philosophy. Like I feel like your image and your individuality as a musician, even as a person, comes with just being yourself. Because everyone's snowflake. Everyone's really different. And I feel like when you're 100% yourself and like not trying too hard, then you know you have your thing
Yeah.
going for you.
At least, I mean, and then there's like Taylor Swift, who clearly there is psycho separation between image and who I imagine she is. I mean, because no one's that like massive alone. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I feel like when you're on a Taylor Swift level, just pure protection, you have to have that separation.
I feel like you kind of do both, because you are you, I don't know, it's kind of seems like you've set yourself up to just be you on stage, even though it is like, it's massive at the same time. It's cool. I think it's special to be able to do that.
I don't know, I can't even imagine being like on that kind of level because you have so many yes men. You have so many people who think they know you when they really don't, which I'm sure I definitely experienced. I'm sure you have experienced. I can only imagine like someone on her level would experience. So I'm sure there's a sense of two-facedness that you kind of have in order to like kind of protect yourself, which I get. But I feel like for where I am now, just kind of feels right just to, I don't know, just kind of just like be you and be open. And, you know, people love openness. You know, people feel a connection to your music because they feel a connection to you. And I think it's really important to, I don't know, allow the people that's like listening to your music and buying your music to feel like they have a connection with you, you know? Like as I do at a lot of my shows and also what I did last night too, I like to hop into the crowd and like dance for the last few minutes of my song with people.
Yes.
Like, it's more fun for me actually, you know, because touring and like being a musician is like, you spend a lot of time alone anyway. So if you know, have the chance to like go see people, talk to people that already, you know, feel like they know you and love you and already know like a lot of things about you that you probably never know that you knew. So it's, I don't know, I like it. I like being close to my fans and the people that listen to my music. I feel like they're all my friends.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Was there like a scene where you grew up? Or was it just you doing your thing?
That's the thing. That's the thing about Las Vegas. And I think that's the thing that for me as an artist now, and like, you know, a lot of people always say that like, you know, my music has a lot of influences of everything. And that's mostly because like, you know, when it comes to scenes, there's a specific type of person, a specific type of kid or whatever who goes to like these specific type of shows and like dress a specific type of way and like, you know, do the whole thing. And like, since there's no music scenes in Vegas, I listen to music not really thinking about the person that listens to the music. I was like, oh, I like this, and I'm going to listen to it.
Yeah.
And I think that was really formed my musical taste and, like, made me not really think about genre barriers.
That's cool.
And, like, stuff like that.
Are you going to see Blood Orange in a little bit?
I mean, also, Savages.
I just saw them walking by, and it's just, like, causes, like, physical pain almost. They just look so sharp and dark, even just, like...
But they're so warm. I was scared to approach them, but they're actually all very warm people.
That's nice.
It's really great and surprising. Because I was really scared to approach them. I'm like, is she going to punch me? No, but I love them. They're really great.
Cool.
Also label mates. Yay, beggars. It was great to talk to you, Aaron.
Shamir, it was a pleasure.
I feel kind of ridiculous that we had to finally get to talk in this instance because our schedules are always super crazy.
Maybe the best press thing ever to like get a chance to hang out alone for 20 minutes.
Yeah, and air conditioned.
Like a cool room. Yeah.
So yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
We try to feel it out. I'll leave the house. And now my body moves. It is so physical.
I'm Elia Einhorn, and you've been listening to Shamir and Porches Aaron Maine on the Talkhouse Music Podcast. Subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher for upcoming Talkhouse Music Podcast episodes recorded at Pitchfork Music Festival, including Julia Holter and Broken Social Scene's Kevin Drew, Spencer Tweedy and the band Whitney, and next week's pairing, BJ the Chicago Kid and Mick Jenkins. A big thank you to Pitchfork for hosting the Talkhouse at the Fest. This episode was recorded, edited, and co-produced by Mark Yoshizumi. Till next time.